Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the day, the video diary. How's it going today? Today, it is a Wednesday. Yesterday, I had a strange turn of like a cold that just floored me last night. From about 9:30, I was like drifting, falling asleep. 10 o'clock, when the news came on, I wasn't interested in watching the program we were watching. I then drifted asleep on Laura. Then went to bed. Laura said she's never seen me fall asleep so fast. I literally got into bed straight away. So I don't know what zonked me out yesterday, but something did. Today, I've still got a bit of a sore throat, but I'm feeling much better. I'm feeling much more energised, much more ready to do stuff, which is good. Because tonight is a productive night. Laura isn't here. She is gone to a Christmas drinks do. So, it's just me. It's just little old me. I've sorted out my video, and I have come home and I dropped off my laptop and all that kind of shit. All the normal shizness. Oh, now I am about to cook myself some dinner, which is going to be a chicken stir fry. It's going to be lovely. Although, I also make my sandwiches as well. I'll do that when I do the washing up. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm going to do that. Otherwise, what's been going on today? Today's been a pretty dull day. I've been waiting for someone to give me a task. So I've been doing code reviews and stuff, and then otherwise I was going back over my validator thing, doing some refactoring around there from code reviews that was done to me. That's got hugely deprioritised to times where I don't have anything better to do, so I don't get much time on that one, unfortunately, but that's the way. I'm going to make myself a stir fry. Yeah, we've been doing some fun stuff there. What else has been going on really at work? That, code reviews. I'm trying to introduce some better assertion frameworks to stop people writing bad assert methods. But unfortunately we use Java 7, which is nowhere near as good as Java 8 because it doesn't have link style queries or lambda calculus, lambda functions, all that kind of shit. Just irritating as balls. So what can you do? Also, I've been trying to debug my program. I'm having problems on my laptop stepping through the code. It doesn't want to step into certain parts. I need to step into those parts, otherwise I'm not going to know what's going on. I can step into it, but I can't preemptively put breakpoints in it. And I am able to do that on Atlas, so I'm going to see if I can do it on Atlas. I don't know what settings I've got different. And if I can do it on Atlas, I'm going to try and figure out what configuration settings I've got. Because obviously Atlas has been set up for years. I've been programming on Atlas for 5 years now, and my Surface has only been active for half a year, or a year now, maybe. So, yeah, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Basically saying I must have flipped a switch somewhere in Visual Studio on Atlas a while ago, and not flipped the same switch. But what can you do? I'll tell you what you can do, you can try and figure that shit out. So yeah. Right. What shall I watch while I'm having dinner? What shall I watch? Oh, guys, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I managed to debug through the code. I'm figuring out why it is that it's failing. It's because nsubstitute uses a assembly that isn't available when my code is published. Because I publish using system 4.3. That's what it is. System.runtime 4.3 to be precise. Whereas nsubstitute uses system.runtime 4.1. So when I go through, when the XUnit test runner goes through using reflection to try and find system.whatever 4.1, it can't find it. So, how do I get my system to be able to run this code without knowing all of the assemblies? This is absolutely killing me, man. It's killing me so much. It just doesn't fucking work. I don't think it's fucking possible, man. Oh, you're a son of a bitch. Time to take a break, y'all. It's time to take a goddamn break. This problem is too big to solve. Like, I don't know how to solve it. Because the solution is you use a test runner that's able to basically live inside the code, but then I don't have control over everything. What I'm trying to solve here is an impossible problem, because I need to solve how to detect and kill if they're running, or preferably don't run them, an infinite loop, which is a halting problem. Statistical analysis of the file isn't good enough. Roslyn won't be able to do it, just due to the limitations. Especially considering the fact that there might be things that, like, the amount of consideration there is there. Let's have a cup of tea. I wonder how possible it would be to run through the code. Bearing in mind I've got access to the test method. You see, this is just mental, because what I'm proposing is using the tests and Roslyn to analyse the tests and calculate what's going to happen in the tests without running them. Because, like, there's a lot it's got to be able to do. It needs to be able to, if there's a mock in there, it needs to be able to inject the mock and do what the mock tells it to do. That's impossible. Like, that's flat out impossible. The other solution is running the tests, and if they don't die after a certain amount of time, kill the entire thread process. So, time out the thread. Like, spin up the process. It's not beeping noise. Hello? Hello, beeping noise? Don't shut that door too loud. No beeping noise. No? Weird. Don't know where that must have been upstairs or something. That's the other solution, is run the tests in a separate thread, kill them if I need to kill them, given a timeout. Just a random timeout. In which case I interface with .NET Test, or the console runner for X unit still uses assembly code. So .NET Test can do it, and then in theory MS Test will do it, VS Test will do it as well if you're not in .NET Core. And then it's a case of just timing how long it takes, and if it takes a disproportionate amount of time, kill it. Fuck's sake, you see how shit that is though? That's so shit. That's such a shit solution. And you have the problem of if .NET Test runs into an infinite loop and I kill the process, does that infinite loop carry on running in the background? And /or, do I run it just on a container and then can the entire container? I think we have to do some investigation there, aren't we? Basically my debugging process here has been, like, I've done everything and I've stepped through the code as much as possible. I've ran through using not .NET Core, although arguably pointing at a .NET Core repository. Happen to have in, substitute in, doesn't fucking matter. None of this matters, because that has access to app domains and things like that, so I wondered if app domains would be able to solve the problem, because I was contemplating the possibility of having my code talk to something that isn't .NET Core and creating basically an external service that would deal with it. Basically running through there, figured it out that that's the problem. I then hacked into System Runner, tried to figure out what it is, saw that it wasn't finding system.runtime 4.1, tried to figure out what the fuck was using that. That was harder than it needed to be. As soon as I found out it was n substitute's fault, I tried to look into a way of forcibly pulling down all everything I needed, i.e. using like some kind of combination of .NET Publish or other means. Not going to happen. It's a bastard, basically. So after months of trying to figure out this problem, I'm now going to go in there, have a cup of tea, and then investigate how easy it is to kill an infinite loop if it's running in a separate process and that separate process is running .NET Test. Such a bastard. Because I remember I did this last time. This was what I had last time, but I was using MS Test. So I'd spun up a separate process and used MS Test and ran that. But I could never kill all of it. I tried to kill it, but the infinite loop threads would be subthreads of the main parent thread. I could never kill the subthreads, the children threads. It wouldn't do it. I just couldn't. It wouldn't let me. I'm hoping that that's an MS Test thing, not a .NET Test thing, because that's like, my hands are tied here. Fuck's sake. I'm so angry. I'm so angry that I can't just do what I want to do. There's no obvious way of being able to pull down the repositories. And even if there was, that is failing the thing I didn't want, which was having to force users to mould their code to fit my system rather than my system just automatically fit theirs. Right, so what I'm going to do, get my cup of tea, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to make an infinite loop in a test, and then I'm going to run .NET Test, and I'm going to try and kill it and see how well that goes. What are you up to, Graham? What are you up to, girl? Say that, but really what I was doing was I went into there to make my cup of tea, and as I did that I got a text message from Laura saying, can you come and pick me up? So I sat talking to you for a bit, went in there, sat down, cup of tea, checked my phone. She wanted to pick it up after a little bit, so I managed to finish my tea and headed off to go grab her. And then yeah, she was at a boss's house having like Christmas drinks, and as I drove up the road I saw someone who looked remarkably like Laura, so I flashed them and then bit my horn because they were in the middle of the road and they were walking away from me, like they didn't recognise the car. And then it turns out it wasn't them, and that was really awkward. Either way, came back here and whatnot, and started programming again at like 11ish, just before 11. We've had a productive day of programming today. To the extent where I've decided upon the fact that I'm now going to be doing something else. I have done a proof of concept. It seems like it's possible to do in a nice way, to kill the process. In theory, I already have this kind of stuff from when I was doing the compiler, although the compiler can't infinite loop, so I never had to deal with that. But yeah, so I should have like half of the framework, like I have a process handler and all that kind of stuff. All I need to do is pass it the right commands and it'll run it and then give me the results back. So that should be good. That shouldn't be too much hassle at all. I've gone through and I've like, there's no point diving into this code because it's going to be chunky. Start it tomorrow. I've gone through and I've like figured out what needs to be changed, and I figured out like, I'm trying to figure out how to go about changing it so that it's as good as it can be, but yet also be a nice proof of concept and without rolling anything else back, just in case like it turns out to be an absolutely horrendous idea and I have to go back to plan A. Because I used to do, like, I changed a couple of things along the way, didn't I? Like I changed from build to publish, and I changed from publish to, no, build to publish, and then publishing to a certain area, and then mapping all of the things out, and changing this object so I could pass all the information through, and then adding timing onto different types so I could time by type. Now I've got to time by entire project. So there's lots of things that I changed in order to try and get this to work that I've got to roll back now because it's not going to be possible. And we'll see. Basically, that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to figure out like the best way of going about doing that. I think it's entirely possible for me just to extend it. It should be entirely possible for me to extend it because I don't need any extra information. At the moment, I can just use the publish. That's the only problem, is the fact that I think publishing it puts it in a different place to thingy in it, and then that means the working directory is going to be... Oh well, no, because I get the working... Yeah, so it's fine. Tomorrow I intend to get that running, and we'll see how it goes, basically. I'm going to head off to bed. It's nearly 12:30. Well, it will be by the time I get in bed and go to sleep. So, yeah. It's been not very productive because I haven't technically got anything done, but I've thrown the gauntlet. I've thrown the white flag. I'm done. Can't be asked. Don't think it's possible. I'm out of it. If it's possible in the future, it can be a future thing, but for now I'm going to this. Which is far from ideal, but what can you do? Otherwise, we were making up for the fact that yesterday we didn't really... well, yesterday I didn't get anything done because I got like completely sidetracked by the headlight and being a little bit ill in the evening. And today we have done a solid... why won't you just show me the thing? The statistics. Today we've done a solid 3.5 hours worth of programming. And on Monday we did 2 hours and a bit, 2.25 hours. So we're on track for the week. Nearly 6 hours. Got lots to do, ladies and gentlemen. We've got another productive day coming up on Friday as well because Laura's going out again. I'm Billy No Mates over it. But yeah, I'll catch you later.